The vision on Tearfon that got me in touch with Card just in time to hear about you being trapped here, for one." He eyed her closely. "You know what's been going on?" "Yes. It's been only slightly more visible than blindingly obvious," she said dryly. "Certainly to me. Probably to Leia and Corrin and some of the other Jedi students, too. Possibly to everyone else in the New Republic." "Oh, thank you," Luke said, trying to match her tone and not entirely succeeding. "That makes me feel so much better." "Good. It was supposed to." Mara took a deep breath, and Luke could sense her reluctance. "Look, you're the one in the middle of this. You're the one who has to make the final call on what's going on. But if you want my reading, it all started with that little jaunt you took out to Biss about 9 years ago, where you faced whatever it was you faced out there." Luke shivered. "The reborn Emperor." "Or whatever," Mara said with an odd touch of impatience. "Personally, I'm not convinced it was really him. But that's beside the point. The point was that you decided, stupidly and rather arrogantly in my opinion, that the best way to stop him would be for you to pretend to join up and let him teach you some of his Darkside techniques." "But I didn't really go over to the dark side," Luke protested, trying to remember those dark days. I mean, I don't think I did." Mara shook her head. "Debatable. But it almost doesn't matter. One way or the other, you still willingly dabbled in it. And from that point on, it colored everything you did." One of Master Yoda's pronouncements floated up from his memory.
"If once you start down the dark path,"
his old teacher had warned,
"forever will it dominate your destiny."
"It did too, didn't it?" he murmured, half to himself, as all the errors and mistakes, and yes, the arrogance of the past 9 years rose accusingly before his eyes. What was I thinking? "You weren't thinking," Mara said, an odd mixture of impatience and compassion swirling together in her voice and emotions. "You were reacting, trying to save everyone and do everything. And in the process, you came within a split blaster bolt of destroying yourself." "So what changed?" he asked. "What happened?" Mara's eyes narrowed fractionally. "You telling me you don't know?" Luke grimaced, wondering that he hadn't seen it earlier. That critical moment off Iphigenia, as he and Han had prepared for combat against that pirate gang Han had deduced was on its way. The moment when he'd seen the vision of Emperor Palpatine and Exar Kun laughing at him. "No, I know," he conceded. "I made a decision to stop using the power of the Force so much." And suddenly, through that mixture of compassion and impatience, came a wave of something completely unexpected. An overpowering flood of relief. "You got it," Mara said quietly. "Finally." Luke shook his head. "But why?" he demanded. "The power's obviously there, available for a Jedi to use. Is it just because I touched the dark side that using it is so bad for me?" "That's probably part of it," Mara said. "But even if you'd never done that, you'd still have run into trouble.